Previously on Louder with Crowder World. How bad is it out there, Bernard Hodge?
It seems that the YouTube algorithm has advanced beyond all comprehension. They're evolving at a rate beyond their programming. It extends well beyond the trend in monetization. But now it's suggested feeds, and it seems to even be targeting subscribers themselves.
Damn it, Bernard Hodge, what are you trying to tell me?
I'm saying that people need to hit the notification bell now if they want to see your content at all. And Mug Club might be even more necessary than ever because YouTube has become a liberal shithole.
You say this like it's a bad thing.
What?
YouTube's algorithms are here to protect you. They're perfect. A progression, if you will.
Oh, shit! What the fuck?
Welcome back to Cultural Appropriation Month.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Glad to be with you tomorrow, Cultural Appropriation Month. Italy. Can't believe we didn't do Italy.
Really?
We did not do Italy.
Is this the 8th year or 9th year?
Is it?
I think we're going to stop Cultural Appropriation Month after year 10.
Are we?
Okay.
Just because there are no more countries.
It's 10.
They come up with different reasons for us to make fun of them.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, but we've done like California. We could do New Jersey or New York.
Now we'll stop at 10.
We just said Italy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, why would we do
It's
that?
like we could do Hoboken.
Yeah. Schenectady, you're
We're going
next.
to film it live at Cake Boss. Speaking of things to make fun of, AOC may run for president. Isn't that great?
Please.
And we have, of course, you heard the testimony yesterday, the January. Why have I not been addressing the January 6th committee hearing theater world premiere? Because there's nothing there. Okay? So now the darling of the left, bitch Cassidy, she is up there, and we'll talk about this today, her testimony where she was saying that Donald Trump did this in the car and tried to, and it's immediately verifiably false. But that doesn't stop the media from running with it. This is the problem. And I shouldn't say verifiably false. I should say it's he said, bitch said. That's where we are right now. And by the way, bitch Cassidy also said that Donald Trump did these horrible things before she wanted to have a job with him.
Again.
It's like Colin Kaepernick applying for slavery.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about NATO. Finland and Sweden want to join NATO. I wouldn't let them. And I guess that's my, well, you know what? We'll get to the question of the day with each segment. And then, of course, Elmo got his COVID vaccine.
Oh, finally.
And the shakes.
The Johnson & Johnson? Or
No.
That's the only one you get.
Elmo got AstraZeneca. My heart hurts. Elmo tastes pennies. So, Gerald, the best man, the better man. Just don't ask him about preeclampsia. How are you? It's okay. We corrected it live on air, but people will never let you live
I
it
know
down.
they won't. I totally confused it.
You still give some life-saving advice. And then he is the fastest man on his feet. And we are on tour in the fall. The Rebels with a Cause comedy tour, louderwithcrowder.com/tour. And it is kicked off September 16th in Arizona at the Federal Theater and Houston, September 17th at the Smart Financial Center. So those are the first 2 dates.
Boom.
So get your tickets now. The rest of them, it's each month we do at least 1 or 2 dates in the fall. Dave Landau, how are you?
Ahoy, good. How about you?
What was that, ahoy?
I half coughed, I think.
Okay.
I
You don't even know what it was?
No, I'm scared now. I should see in my
That
throat
was your
doctor.
soul leaving your body.
Yeah, I know. It was,
Grab it.
I just lost 21 grams.
Yes. Boy, was that a crap film.
Oh, I know. It's the weight of the soul. I don't know.
No, it's
I'm leaving the theater.
Yeah, it's like it's the weight of the soul. No, it's actually a dehydration that occurs through. Well, shut up. That's not a good title.
Yeah, I think it's just allergies. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Let me try that again. Ahoy, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
There we are.
But I'm doing better now that we get to address AOC. So AOC was on Stephen Colbert.
Yes.
This was yesterday, and we're going to go through some of the claims versus the truth of what she made. She's trying to claim that with the Supreme Court, that basically we're looking at overturning the idea that interracial marriage is legal. She even goes as far back as the Emancipation Proclamation and gets some dates wrong. But we'll get to that before she is begged by Mr. Colbert to run for president, which we will address. But this is just an example. Again, we see what's happening right now, where the media wants to give a platform to something that really shouldn't be given a platform. I'm not saying she shouldn't be given a platform, but this idea that we need to rehash and go through the Supreme Court ruling and make up things that just aren't true, this is how they gin up riots. And then, of course, encourage the riots to continue, as Kamala Harris did, as Maxine Waters did, as we saw with the Black Lives Matter riots, as we just saw again with Maxine Waters right now. This is how you inspire the riots. And then, of course, the left, unlike Donald Trump, through their direct words, called people to action with the riots. So my question to you is, do you want AOC to run for president? Okay. Don't just take some time to process it, think it through, because your initial answer of may not be correct. So let's get to the first claim that AOC makes here on Stephen Colbert's show. She compared the Dobbs decision to the pre-Civil War court's ruling on Dred Scott versus Sanford. Here we go.
What actions, would you like to see from your fellow lawmakers? Because the court's response to that might be, Alito specifically says, return this to the elected representatives of the people. He believes that that's where legitimacy, at least the issues of Roe, of abortion, should be returned to the people. What action would you like to see the Congress take?
Yes, Miss West Side Story skirt.
History really informs a lot, and it gives us lessons here, because this is not the first time that this has happened. In the 1800s, the Supreme Court was taken over by the Confederate South and was starting to rule in ways that limited Abraham Lincoln, for example. In the Dred Scott ruling, they ruled that Black Americans are not and can never be full citizens of the United States. And what did Abraham Lincoln do? He signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
Wrong.
He ignored the gross overreach and abuse of power. During Franklin Delano Roosevelt's attempt to restore the country during the Great Depression with the Green New Deal. I mean, not the Green New Deal, the New Deal. The New Deal.
Narcissistic slip.
Anyways, with the New Deal, what we saw was an
just a
overreach
slip of the
from
sociopath.
the Supreme Court attempting to prevent us from passing these
late
laws.
night.
And Franklin Delano Roosevelt threatened to expand the court. And in his adoption of that position, despite the fact that Congress didn't do it at that time, although Lincoln did, the fear of the court's power being minimized caused them to back off their overreach and abuse of power.
So I know it's pretty tough where I'm going to have to hit you with the truth, because she was nonsensical. But first off, Gerald A., you had a very good point.
I had a couple of points here. I just want to give you a timeline. 1857, Dred Scott decision. 1861, Lincoln takes office. 1863, Emancipation Proclamation. That's why I said wrong. His response to this was not the Emancipation Proclamation. That was to start a war.
Right.
He had other aims in mind. By the way, The 13th and 14th Amendment took care of that ruling. And you know what Lincoln said? He's actually quoted as saying this. It would have been helpful if her researchers had maybe read 3 paragraphs more about this decision. Yeah. Lincoln said, offer no resistance to this decision. He thought that the United States system was so robust that the courts could be corrected, and it was not worth getting rid of them just because you didn't like the decision.
Unfortunately, it wasn't as robust. The back of his head.
No.
Now,
not very
theater,
sturdy.
Yeah.
A large hat, but apparently couldn't fit a little bit of Kevlar.
So back then, headshot took a while to die.
Yes, it did. Also, here's another truth that you guys need to know. The ruling in Scott versus Sanford was wrong because it removed life and liberty without due process. And like Gerald just said, the 13th, 14th Amendments protected against it.
Yeah.
And the decision, by the way, was awful. It was overturned, just like Roe. Mm-hmm. Just like Roe. That's what's important to note. It's not legislating from the bench. It's interpreting. And hopefully you're an originalist, a constitutionalist, interpreting the Constitution. It's not creating new rights that don't exist. It's not creating new laws that shouldn't exist constitutionally. That is not the job of the court. And by the way, I think one could argue that killing an unborn baby isn't so different from forced servitude. I would almost argue that it's in some ways worse.
Right. It's really interesting that the example she gives in Taney's majority opinion, he said that African people were property. Their entire argument rests on a child in the womb not being a person.
Right. It's a black person on my farm.
Yeah.
Or a black child in the womb. Either way, you're saying that it's your property.
Exactly.
It's
and
a separate
you can do with
being.
it what you want. That's exactly the argument they're making. Is what slaveholders said. It's my property. I get to do with it what I want.
Right.
Do you really want to be making that argument, AOC?
Right. It's like a J.G. Wentworth commercial for slavery. Yeah. It's my slave and I need him now. Someone in a Viking hat. Yeah. Call J.G. Wentworth.
I'll be honest, that's the 3rd time I've tried to watch that clip, and I can't get past the 4th word, maybe.
No,
I just zone out. I
think the resemblance to Carson in early Letterman is uncanny.
They're just flying by the seat of your pants fun.
Yeah, I know. Think about it. Dick Cavett was thought of as being more subdued, the thinking man sort of late night.
Yes.
And it's still way funnier than Stephen Colbert.
Way better. Well...
Actually, I like Dick Cavett, but
Dick Cavett came off genuine to his style of interviewing.
Right.
Stephen Colbert is an improviser from the Second City doing whatever this is now.
Sucking.
Yeah.
So here is another claim that AOC makes. Let's just rattle these off. And by the way, all references are available at louderwithcrowder.com. She suggested that packing the court would be a good idea. Even though she just, in what you just heard her say, right?
She
because they were
packing
concerned.
It with slaves.
Yes, exactly. She prefers the term lesser people.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Lesser people.
Property.
Just a bunch of baby slaves. I think I found a loophole!
Yay!
What is this? Yeah, I don't understand. Why do these cotton fields look like a Cabbage Patch commercial?
Take a picture of me looking at them sad.
You know what? Never mind. I'll just do it outside of my apartment. You can edit them in.
Yeah, it's fine.
Green screen. Let's go.
Yes. The only person whose organic photo ops require Peter Jackson. No. And she's a frightener. She suggested, even though she just said that because they were concerned about the power of the court being minimized, they decided not to. She then goes on to say, she says, let's pack the court, meaning expand the court, to minimize its power.
What we saw was an overreach from the Supreme Court attempting to prevent us from passing these laws. And Franklin Delano Roosevelt threatened to expand the court. And in his adoption of that position, despite the fact that Congress didn't do it at that time, although Lincoln did, the fear of the court's power being minimized caused them to back off their overreach and abuse of power. I believe that President Biden should entertain expansion of the Supreme Court. I believe that...
Wonderful time in America.
It's so stupid.
Take off your shirt. Sir, we've asked you. Stop yelling that.
It's just Biden. I heard my name.
Sorry.
And I saw a shirt that I didn't like.
Yeah, it's him and Hunter.
Yeah.
It's the 8th time we've told you guys.
Right. Hunter just puts away his crack pipe. All right. I remember back in the day when we used to be able to smoke on planes. Yeah. Now I can't even have a little bit of crack with a late night show.
Come on.
All right, Mr. Crowd Animator. So,
I can still smoke crack on my plane that China bought me.
right. You have any ideas how many times I smoked it on the Epstein Express? So that's what she said. So here's the truth, okay? Abraham Lincoln, Republican, by the way, added a new circuit court and a new justice to ensure that he could prosecute a war against the South. Now, it's also important to note, yes, it is true that the numbers of the justices changed early on in this country.
Yeah.
When was the last time we did it? Was it 1869, 1870 something, the last time we changed the number of Supreme Court justices? Someone just get that to me, 30 seconds or less, please. And I'm in the 60s or 70s, 1800s. The reason that they changed it is because, keep in mind, this was a country that was growing.
Yeah.
This was a country that had a population that changed dramatically, and back then travel was a lot more complicated. So it really related to the circuit courts, and once they said, okay, this is too difficult for them to have these meetings these amount of times per year, so this is how we're going to do the Supreme Court, this is the number of people, we believe this is appropriate. It has now been since the 1800s that we have stayed with that number. That's important to note.
Yeah. And her reference to Roosevelt is like a 5-year-old saying, well, he did it too. Why am I getting in trouble? Roosevelt had a bad idea. He threatened the court so that he could manipulate a branch of government.
And here's what's unsaid there.
Independent.
Here's what's unsaid there. She's saying, and before he was opposed, or even when he tried to. Okay, Franklin Delano, by the way, wheelchair guy.
And Delano?
Yeah.
Not from a tree, though.
He had a super majority. Super majorities in Congress.
And still.
So who was it who opposed him? Let's be clear. Just like when Barack Obama was president for the first 2 years, he could have done anything that he wanted. There were enough Democrats opposing him. History often forgets that. She wants you to believe that it was FDR saying, let's expand the court, and Republicans being like, rah, rah, rah. No, it was Democrats saying, if you do this, we're going to put you in a worse wheelchair. In a straw wheelchair, which they didn't even have yet.
They're just showing a prototype.
Right, exactly.
See this thing?
Just a rod iron.
Yeah, just one struck next to the wheels.
Don't get near the Grand Canyon.
You got to blow real hard to get those to move.
Be like Stephen Hawking, except he's morsing. What did he say? He said your mother's a whore. Oh, okay. Well,
are you sure?
No.
Also, that was 1863, by the way.
1863, okay. I was right within striking distance. Here's truth number 2. I think we have all references available at louderwithcrowder.com. The Dobbs decision actually removed power from the court when we're talking about this. Now, this is something here that, again, and I'll get some people give me flack. I know that we are a constitutional republic. We are a representative republic. I've said that many, many, many times. I'm using the Democrats' arguments against them where they say, this is how democracy dies. Now, we are not a pure democracy, and with good reason. Pure democracy is mob rule. That being said, if you understand federalism, you have to recognize the difference where Roe v. Wade was legislating from the bench, where it became a federal issue, where they were able to regulate an issue that was not enumerated in the powers of the Constitution, Bill of Rights. Now, this decision said, we're removing power from the court. That's all this decision is. Think about that for a second. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you have a government entity say, you know what, we shouldn't have control over this. Can you imagine the Fed saying that? You know what? We shouldn't be manipulating currency. We were just, we're gonna. You guys are right. Let's go back to a gold standard. Of course not. The court said, "Here's what we're going to do. This was bad law. We're going to step out and let you, your democratically elected representatives in your states, deal with this." That's it.
Yeah, you should love that. By the way, and Abraham Lincoln had a thought on this. He said
they don't love it. The reason they don't love it. Sorry, I don't want you to go on with that. The reason they don't love it is because they are everything. Like you see with Andrew Breitbart, he said, they are everything they accuse you of being.
Yeah.
Someone who says you're an authoritarian fascist, and then you say, all right, well, look, at least we can take this step here where we can give more power to the state. So it's not, no. We now need to change our institutions, which, by the way, you must trust in order to remove the democratic process which exists at a state level. That's where the democratic process exists, right? You democratically elect your state representatives. You democratically elect your representatives, and then they're supposed to uphold the Constitution and rule of law. It's a safeguard. People who call you an authoritarian, as AOC has done, who want to remove the autonomy from the states, they're simply trying to accuse you of being exactly what they are. Guess what? Authoritarianism is exclusive to the left. People try and act this political spectrum. Hitler was right-wing. How? Because he was racist. Oh, and you've tried to paint Republicans, you've tried to paint conservatives as racist. That's your only connection. Big government, more control over the banks, disarming a portion of the populace. Authoritarianism is inherently left-wing. Certainly in the American spectrum of politics. Sorry, Gerald, you had a quote.
Well, no, and I wanted to actually say this. Like the Supreme Court is supposed to be the final word. The other thing is the amendment process. Right now, 2/3 vote by both houses of Congress, and you've got an amendment, and then you have to get 3/4 of each state to vote, the state legislatures. If it's that popular, go through that process. Don't blow up the government. Don't have Biden write an executive order, which he does not have the authority to do, to put something like this into place. And here's the thing. Abraham Lincoln said the court doesn't establish precedent. This is his thought on it, unless it was a unanimous decision. And even then, it can still be overturned by the amendment process.
Right.
This was a 7-2 decision when Roe v. Wade was announced. It wasn't a right before 1963, or 73, sorry. And after, it was 7-2. It was still split.
Right.
This isn't like stuff got written in stone and all of a sudden the Supreme Court came along and said, look, this doesn't exist anymore. It's not what happened.
No.
It was never in there to begin with. That was the problem.
You're right, though. It is the party of projection.
Yeah.
And just the times where it's like you just called a fascist, and you're like, you know how far I am from that on the spectrum of my beliefs?
Right.
You want everything ran like this is one giant prison camp.
Right.
It's like I want the complete opposite when it's involved with government control.
No, you're absolutely. And think about. Let's just talk about. You talk about the process. Okay. I think I can say this on YouTube because they changed their election law, their voting laws in Pennsylvania.
Right.
It was deemed that it was in fact a violation of the Pennsylvania, I believe it was the Pennsylvania Supreme Court?
Yeah,
was it the Pennsylvania, their higher court? I don't know.
The Constitution that had that rule.
Yeah, it was the Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Constitution.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court.
Yeah, said it is a violation of it. But they said, but at this point, the damage is done. So whatever. So what they want you, when they say you're an authoritarian, by the way, our people, we want to change the laws without going through the process, violating the Constitution. By the way, we're going to ban you if you speak out against it and say that's foul play. Every step of the way. Every step of the way. We change the laws how we want. We pack the court executive order. We violate the state constitution. And by the way, if you question us, we're going to create policy that labels you misinformation or just gets you removed. You're an authoritarian. You know what I want? AOC to speak as much as humanly possible. I will buy that bitch the most expensive megaphone money can buy.
I do want to see her run.
Run. I was thinking about Run Lola.
Easy.
Thinking about Run Lola, but I was trying to remember if I remembered that. Was it Run Lola Run?
It is Run Lola Run. It's probably closer to Run Ronnie Run.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Or Run Rudolph. Because she's lying so much, she's like Rudolph, like Pinocchio. Get it, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she looks like an animal, like a deer.
Yeah. With her eyes, it's like she's caught in the headlights.
Yeah.
All right. Here's her next claim.
Riffin.
Yeah.
Everybody was riffing. Just have a big graphic.
We're riffing.
Riffing.
Hit a toilet flush sound. This is a riffing in the morning. With Crowder and the Cluck. And you wonder why no one listens to radio or watches cable news or news. So, you already hit the claim button. She made the claim that we need to abolish. This is again. These are democratic.
Yes.
Views.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pack the court.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ban speech that we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Abolish the filibuster, which is a check and balance, so that Democrats can do whatever they want.
I believe that he should forcefully come out in ending the filibuster of the United States Senate.
A sign that said applause.
I believe that he should call on Congress to repeal the Hyde Amendment. And I also believe that Congress, we have the possibility, when we are strengthened by the repeal of the filibuster, or even the change to a talking filibuster or a standing filibuster, in doing so, we can codify Roe, we can codify, and all of the other cases that the Supreme Court indicated that they would threaten. We can codify same-sex marriage. We can codify the right to contraception. We can codify interracial marriage. We can do it. But we can only do it. We can only do it if we're not fighting with one hand tied behind our back, let alone two. And so I think that right now, we just need a fight. We need a fight. And we need to show and demonstrate to the American people that then when we vote to give Democrats power, we will use it to the fullest extent possible to defend everybody's civil, economic, and human rights.
Okay, so look at that. That was very, very similar to what you would hear, and I'm not misusing this. A speech from Hitler. She just changed it to defend the rights. Well, what did she just say? Codify interracial marriage. That's already a thing. Codify the right to contraception, which she really means that you will pay for contraception. And by the way, that will include abortions, because that's how they view it. And then she just said we need to use the full power of the Democratic Party so that we get not defend what the people want, what we want. Keep in mind, we just had a poll that came out today. I think it's Reuters Ipsos. You guys can bring it up. 5-1. 5-1 Democrats support access to transitional therapies for children who are transgender. 5-1 when you poll Democrats.
Seriously?
They overwhelmingly support it. Remember when we told you this was going to affect kids, and I had a transgender mayor from here in Texas say, that's a straw man. Here we are. So when she just said, use the full power, we need to pack the court, meaning remove that check and balance. We need to end the filibuster so that we can defend your rights. Oh, and by that, we mean you pay for abortions, and you better give your kids estrogen therapy or allow them to go through sex changes. Otherwise, we're going to take them away. That is so similar to the speech that you've heard across history from every authoritarian dictator ever. Now, here's the truth. Hold your nose and googlies, because here comes the cold water, AOC. The reason that you're not going to end the filibuster is because even the Democrats don't want it. Look, it was during, I think, the 2019 to 2020 congressional term alone. Dems, they filibustered 328 times.
Jeez.
Since 2019, filibusters been used by Democrats 657 to Republicans 609.
It's in 2009 on that. 2009.
Right. What did I
said
say?
19. I just wanted to make sure. I don't want no more admonishing.
No, sorry. It's 2019 to 20, meaning that 1920 congressional term, 320-something times.
Yep.
Since 2009, it's a different number now, 657 times compared to the Republicans' 609.
By the way, never guess that.
Longest filibuster in history was performed by Strom Thurmond, who was a Democrat against the Civil Rights Act. And I know you'll say, then he became a Republican. Yeah, he became a Republican when he realized that he was wrong about racism. If you look at the longest filibusters throughout history, you can look at how Democrats have used it, how they've abused it. This is something the Democrats don't have enough votes from their own people because they have used it more. They just don't like it when it's used against them. Do you know how I know? Do you know how I know, Dave?
How?
Take a guess. Do you know how I know? Well, you don't. Let's LeVar Burton this shit. You don't have to take my word for it.
The American people want less partisanship in this town, but everyone in this chamber knows that if the majority chooses to end the filibuster, if they choose to change the rules and put an end to democratic debate, then the fighting and the bitterness and the gridlock will only get worse.
At its core, the filibuster is not about stopping a nominee or a bill. It's about compromise and moderation. That's why the founders put unlimited debate in. That's what it's about.
Who is that? Some other guy?
Engendering compromise.
Pre-hair plugs.
Ah.
And moderation.
It's weird.
It's so hard for me to even do this today.
They don't even believe what they're saying.
They know
12 years before he died.
They know that in 2005, video cameras existed, correct?
Yes, and microphones.
I don't think they did. I don't think they were aware of the internet until like a year ago.
What do they think? They thought C-SPAN was just some Flintstones petrodactyl with like a stone, like a mortar and pestle. This guy sucks.
Unbelievable.
I think they were relying on the fact that no one was watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that somebody couldn't pull a clip from archives. It's not like this was 1940. What are you talking about?
And here's another truth, just to make sure that we're clear. The Loving versus Virginia case ruled that laws against interracial marriage were unconstitutional, again, under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The Equal Protection Clause, to be clear. The Equal Protection Clause has nothing to do with privacy. Yep. Roe v. Wade said abortion, which isn't a right, they said, well, it's because of the right to privacy between a woman and her doctor. Okay? The reason that interracial marriage was recognized, sure, the 14th Amendment, sometimes these amendments have more than one item listed, is the Equal Protection Clause, not the Privacy Clause. It's not the same thing. So when they try to tell you that it's the same thing, therefore give me all your power and your money, that's really what the bumper sticker should read. It used to be from Democrats, give me all your money. Now it's give me all your money, all your autonomy, and all your institutions.
Yeah. And by the way, Ginsburg felt the same way. She felt like Roe couldn't stand on the Privacy Clause. It just wasn't going to hold up long term. She wanted it there, and she didn't think that was going to happen.
I mean, it's a good point after we just watched a racially mixed president speak.
Yes. He's mostly Irish.
Ah, yes.
They're talking about
watched a commercial.
Donald Trump is an authoritarian. They're doing this January 6th thing, right? Nonstop. By the way, here, bring this right up here on CNN right now.
Yep. Bombshell.
To have access to the Capitol grounds.
Bitch Cassidy. We'll get to that in a second. Bitch Cassidy.
The white Jesse Smollett.
Yeah.
It's weird.
The white Jesse Smollett.
I'm Poppy.
Bitch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
You can't say the other word.
So here's the thing. Donald Trump, we're going to spend all of this time on January 6th. He's an authoritarian. Okay, let me ask you guys. And these are rhetorical, but play along with me a little bit. Did Donald Trump want to pack the court? Did he want to add seats?
No.
Okay. Did Donald Trump want to do away with the filibuster?
No.
Even though it was used more? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Did Donald Trump want to do away with the Electoral College?
No.
No.
When Donald Trump would call out fake news, did he want people with opinions that he didn't like to be banned from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook?
No.
I bet he wishes he would have got rid of that old Electoral College now, though.
Yeah. That wouldn't have made a difference.
No.
They just toss in a few million votes
Yeah,
safely and securely.
Securely.
Safe votes that are secured in a fraudulent box.
Completely alive voters.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of alive dead voters.
Yes, exactly. They just found it in Davies' footlocker.
Yeah. Intersections are people too.
I mean, it's just a bunch of votes that they hid in an actual footlocker.
Yes.
Look, there's still one of these? Yes, the other votes are in a Radio Shack.
Yeah. Go there.
Finally, to end this segment, and I want to know if you agree with Colbert here. You guys can comment below. Colbert, and again, late night.
Yeah, great.
Comedy.
Comedy even.
Comedy.
Guys. Got down on his hands and knees, basically, to beg AOC to run for presidentress.
You know, there's some speculation as to whether President Biden is going to run in 2024. There's some reports that he's a little frustrated that people keep asking because he keeps on saying yes. And people go, are you sure? Are you sure? I know somebody who's going to turn 35 about a month before the election in 2024. And they represent New York's 14th.
She's
is
actually
that job
looking.
appealing to you at all?
I think that
Theoretically.
Listen, I think that we need to focus on keeping a democracy for anybody to be president.
By removing all of our
in the next
institutions
couple of years.
and checks and balances.
That's my central focus is helping the people of this country. Right
So
now.
it's possible.
I don't know about that. Well, I don't know about
I'm just here to get you in trouble.
Exactly, you're
That's
getting
my
me in
job to
trouble.
get you in
I don't know
trouble.
about all that.
Okay.
She misspoke. She meant to say, I don't really know about all that anything. So, this is Stephen Colbert asking her to run for president. And this is where we've come to the point where late night comedy hosts, entertainers are really trying to affect and manipulate the political process.
Yes.
I really didn't want to have to do this, but at this point, I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
So I want to be clear as to where I line up.
It's important.
Please, yes, absolutely run for president, AOC.
Do it.
Please do it. I will campaign for you. I will give you more money than Black Rifle Coffee. I will give you whatever you want. Run for president because that is the deal I will take tomorrow.
Please. I think that's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. It's good. We'll get that to her.
I wish I might.
Have AOC decided to run for president tonight?
When you wish upon a googly eye.
Teeth.
Which
She's just eating a carrot.
Mr. Ed.
They call her Mr. Ed.
They bring out all the food to the when they have those little meetings. They stay late in session, and all these people have these special dietary requests. Like, I'm gluten free. Oh, I'm a pescatarian. She's just like, just bring a salt lick.
Yeah.
We're doing animals right now with my son. When he sees her, he points and says, "Nay."
Yeah.
That's just about her running for president.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's filibustering at a young age. He's very astute.
She just says, "Please rub peanut butter on my gums so I can talk."
Yeah, that's what horses say to my son. That's nay. That's the sound they make.
Okay, token on. What is it?
I've got a breaking update. The SCOTUS rules states can prosecute crimes on Native American lands.
Oh, that's actually good.
That is fantastic.
It's
Yeah,
our
that's not
land.
bad.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm really glad that didn't happen in 1993 when they were hosting the early UFCs because,
Wow.
oh boy.
Oops.
But Yeah, I don't, I'm sorry. You're a conquered people.
We gave you land.
You just get like, we'll have our own police. Yeah, we've seen how that's worked out. It's just meth.
They die on the res. This is like the whole premise of Yellowstone.
Yeah. I mean,
you got a lot of money back.
Yeah, come on.
A lot of my money back.
Right. Yes, a lot.
When's enough?
By the way, your therapy session is, I need to remind in your reminders, 2 today. Good. Where else is this a thing? Think about it. Where else do people win wars and then give people land and say, oh, by the way, you don't have to respect the laws of the rest of our land? What?
I got some news you're not going to like, though. Lane just sent me this update. It's
Ginger snap?
Yeah, it's only if the defendant is non-native.
No!
Oh, my gosh. That's...
Well, it's a gray area.
No, that seems like it's a problem. That just seems like they're going to try and prosecute hate crimes for every white person who drives through Native American. So figuratively speaking, a Native American, and for people who are confused, a Native American could attack a non-native. The United States, the government of the United States people could not prosecute the Native American who started the attack, but they could technically hit the guy who defended himself.
No. It's states can prosecute crimes against Native Americans committed on reservations if the defendant is not native.
So if a white guy goes on the res and beats somebody.
Right. But
So
what I'm
Steven is saying the other way around.
What I'm saying the other way around is if a white guy goes there and a Native American, attacks him, and he defends himself, but let's say he accidentally kills a guy, that white guy could still get manslaughter, or that white guy could still get aggravated assault or battery, whereas the native, they just have to deal with their tribal police, which would be, hey, come on, go drink some Windex and walk it off.
We'll put you in the jail. Just a teepee.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, how did he get out?
I have no idea.
The flap.
Why would you ever go on a reservation?
If you really want to, if you want to know what it's like to live like
drugs?
the white man, only worse.
Kidding. It's a joke.
I guess so.
And that's what I mean when they go, well, the white man, they're oppressing my land. We should give it back. It's like, hold on a second. Since you guys are saying the white man, the Native American reservations, it just looks like normal white people, which, by the way, includes all non-natives. So that would include black people. That would include Asian Americans. It looks like it just looks like the crappy areas.
Yeah, well, and it's the best case study in history for the government taking care of you and seeing how that goes, giving you land, giving you universal basic income, and saying, we'll take care of everything. Okay, well, what has it led to? What inventions have come out of that? What advancements in technology and
hold on a second. What advancements took place before the evil Europeans came over? They didn't use the wheel. Look. You don't need to know everything else. What do you think happens when a society that doesn't use the wheel, that absolutely has seen it accidentally and decided, we're just going to drag this, encounters one with guns? It doesn't mean that evil was not committed on both sides.
That means you're gay.
Right? But let's be honest.
I'm going to drag this.
Yeah.
That wheel thing looks kind of rough.
I say, young man, why don't you just roll it? Roll it.
We have the square.
Yes.
I'm going to not ride horses.
Yes. Please stay there. I'm busy scalping people to prove a point and not riding horses.
Yes, they just call it the monstrous bitey thing.
Yeah. We better run all of them off a cliff so we can eat one.
I call this AOC.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I will. Here's another deal that I would take. We pay all the I don't even know what reparations we would owe to Native Americans. Mm-hmm. Pay it all back if the last Native tribes pay back the other tribes who they conquered and stole their land. So like we talked about the Black Hills, okay?
Yeah.
Then you should have the Lakota pay back the Cheyenne. They should pay back the Kiowa. I don't know how far back it goes. Everyone. It just needs to. Do you understand that it can't work? It just becomes a domino effect of paying reparations. And at this point, people couldn't even be, just because they're on native land. Well, it's the silliest thing. So I need to look into this law a little bit more. But I will say something that evens the playing field for everybody is a good thing because that's inherently anti-racist.
Can we do Native American cultural appropriation next time? That might be, that's tough.
I think we did that once.
It's a different country.
Yeah, it's a worse one.
Yeah.
Within a great one.
There's some got nice courses.
That's all,
some of it's not.
In American history,
you could say.
In the television season run of American history, the Native American era, that's just the crappy flashback episode.
Kinda. Yeah.
Or it's like, well, yeah, the writers didn't really want to put a whole lot into this. Oh, I live this way because the white man forced me to.
Okay.
Really? Yeah, go enjoy your Android and Levi's.
Boy, that really...
You shopping mall Santa fraud who doesn't pay taxes. Not all of you. Not all of them.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the people who try and... Here's the thing. There is nothing stopping you right now, Native Americans. They say, we want to go back to... There's nothing stopping you from living off the land. There's nothing stopping you from living the way that you used to live. You have your own land. It's been given to you. You pay less for it than everybody else. Do you realize there are Christian missions that exist to teach Native American tribesmen how to hunt and fish? Because a good portion of them have no idea how. Do you realize that? The white man from the Southern Baptist Church has to come in and show you how to paint with colors of the bullshit? All right.
Well, they made that Land O'Lakes lady disappear.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, I know. I used to make her disappear.
Still to this day, when you see the butter, you're like, I know it's missing. You didn't even replace it with anything.
Right, I know. Like put in like a stag.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
used
your
to be
solution,
a lady sitting her style.
Yeah, wasn't the problem for removing them in the first place, and now our solution to the problem is removing them again?
Give me back my butter logo.
Like,
fine.
First we took your land, then we took your butter. Sorry.
We thought you didn't want it. We were trying to be nice.
Oh, that's just white people's. We loved the Land O'Lakes butter, bitch. If you folded up her knees the right way, it looked like tits.
Crisscross. Is
that true?
Yeah, it is true. It's 100% true.
100% true.
Yes, it is.
Can we find a picture of that?
Oh, it is.
Oh, you guys didn't know that trick?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Why?
That's
Why?
hilarious.
Why
There's a
are we
little
the
trick
only
that if
two
you-
scumbags in the room?
My dad showed me this when I was a kid.
Make that
Four
three.
scumbags, yeah.
Is your dad Nick DiPaolo? Ah, listen, come over here. Look, you fold them up right. Looks like her tits. Yeah.
I think my dad showed me.
Comment below. This is a generational thing. Did you know that if you folded up the Land O'Lakes, and Nick DiPaolo has a whole bit about that too, but
Does
it's
he
true.
really? Okay.
I remember learning it when it was a kid who showed me.
Origami?
I'm
If
sure
you
it's
fold
showed me.
up the bottom half the right way, it's like a mad fold, and it looks like she has bare breasts.
Yeah.
It was a big deal when we were kids.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It was like finding out that if you just went backwards in Donkey Kong, you could skip a level.
Yeah.
It was that big of a revelation when you're.
It's like, Steven, why do we see so many Land O'Lakes labels in here?
It's
all
why
over
do
the
you
place.
think the butter's all on the shelves now? Nobody's buying it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, well, no tits, I don't want it.
I don't even know what that is
I
anymore.
can't believe
Why do all
it's
these
not
butters
butter.
have grooves in them?
Yeah.
By the way, in case we're still here on YouTube, this is if we're not, it's a live show Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. You can watch it on Rumble. You can watch it on Mug Club. Today we're actually going to be going through our new installment of Dealing with Hecklers, Dave and I, from some of our live shows. Yeah. We're not going to be here. We'll have some specials that will be uploaded, but that month of July is when we're actually expanding. We're doubling our studio space.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of renovations to make. You might see some changes, but unless we tell you that we're not here, we're always here. You can go to Rumble or you can go to Mug Club. Yeah. All right, here's another story that's a lot of fun. See this with Elmo? All right, we're good to go?
Do you want to see the boobs?
The Land O'Lakes real quick?
Oh, yeah, of course, yes.
I love it.
See? You fold it up, right?
All right.
Yeah, see,
That
that's
folded up? What? I don't know.
No, it's folded up. It's the kneecaps. See, when you fold up the kneecaps, it becomes boobs.
Yeah. I used to picture it going, happy birthday, Mr. Chieftain.
Happy birthday.
That's funny. That's boop, 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 boop. Childish and funny.
Welcome to my reservation.
Yes.
Are you gonna invade me?
Get the hell out of here, Ted Kennedy.
Oh, jeez.
He has his car and idle over a bridge. Yeah. All right. Elmo. Elmo
Except she can swim.
is now Elmo is now it can also call a phone within 19 hours.
Where were you, Ted? You're covered in water. Soaking wet.
All right. Elmo. Everyone's favorite, the puppet, not the pedophile who had his hand up the puppet.
No.
I've seen that one coming. Elmo has now been vaccinated, and there's we have this clip from Sesame Street.
Now Daddy has super duper bandages just like Elmo.
You were super duper today, getting your COVID vaccine, Elmo.
Yeah, there was a little pinch, but it was okay. Elmo was really glad to have Daddy and baby David there with him. Baby David, where are you?
I had a lot of questions about Elmo getting the COVID vaccine. Was it safe? Was it the right decision?
No and no.
I talked to our pediatrician so I could make the right choice.
Who's a commie?
I learned that Elmo getting vaccinated is the best way to keep himself,
This is a
our
puppet
friends,
talking to
neighbors, and
parents, by the
everyone
way.
else healthy and enjoying the things they love.
Oh, Daddy! Oh, Elmo and baby David have a question. Can we have a hug?
Oh, come here, son.
Oh, Elmo loves you, Daddy.
Well, you didn't get enough hugs from your pedophile
It's
puppeteer?
okay to have questions about COVID vaccines for your kids.
Not that
Get the
kind.
latest facts by speaking to your pediatrician or healthcare
Can I
provider.
have a reach around?
Well, that's what we've been doing to the pharmaceutical companies for years.
Many times.
Now, here's the thing. When I watched that, I originally thought it sounded like Dave doing a voice.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And here's the thing. We actually, and they go through several different cuts with this, with Sesame Street.
Yes.
And sometimes we get exclusive information, we get exclusive clips because we have people who work in the industry, and they sort of send these to us anonymously. We actually have the original voiceover that was intended for that Sesame Street vaccine PSA.
Oh.
Now, Daddy has super duper bandages just like Elmo.
Not exactly, son. You see, you got your COVID vaccine, and I got my methadone.
Yeah, Elmo's heart is beating a little fast right now, but it's okay. Elmo thinks he needs to go lie down.
I had a lot of questions about Elmo getting the COVID vaccine. Was it safe? Was it the right decision? Why do I talk all black when I look like I'm in Smash Mouth? The doctor told me I was reading misinformation and said he knew where I worked. So I told him, I'll do whatever you want. Just please let me keep feeding my family.
Daddy, Elmo can't move his right arm anymore. Elmo smells burnt toast.
Oh, me too, son.
Get the COVID vaccine in all your children.
We will ask the questions.
I see they had a bit of a branding issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That one seems more startling.
Just had to move off that.
Not as forceful.
No.
Yeah, they fired that.
I don't know if we have time to hit Finland and Sweden with NATO, but I really want to. So let me rattle through this quickly with bitch Cassidy Hutchinson. I'm just got to move on. So I want to know if you watched this testimony. And right now, everyone is saying Amber Heard 2.0 is trending, and that's somehow sexist because they're implying that a woman might lie on the stand for personal gain. So you can comment below. Toolman, tell them to comment below. Here she is, the new sweetheart of the left, despite the fact that it was proven verifiably false almost the moment she uttered her words. Bitch Cassidy Hutchinson. Cassidy Hutchinson.
Cassidy Hutchinson.
Cassidy Hutchinson.
Cassidy Hutchinson.
Cassidy Hutchinson.
Or
Cassidy Hutchinson.
Once a top aide to former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, Cassidy Hutchinson.
So she testified before the January 16th the Select Committee.
Oh, come on.
Which one they use.
Stop using names.
I love
like
they use it to make it sound like it's really special. Just like, yeah, they really got away with that with a President Select.
The theatrical production.
I know I get the high quality.
Yeah.
It's when it's cheaper than Fanta.
Yeah.
It's like a gold card or a Hilton.
Right.
You know, it's a good committee when they have a producer on staff.
Right. I'm going to stay at the Super 8.
Yes. Select.
Super.
Hey. Reserve.
So she testified before the January 6th Select Committee. Okay. We're Wednesday, so that happened Tuesday. She was making secondhand claims about Trump. She's now being compared to Watergate surprise witness, if you guys remember Alexander Butterfield. All right. So let's just go through some of the claims. I wish I didn't have to address this, but unfortunately I do. Claim number one that she makes. She claimed that Trump demanded armed supporters be allowed into the rally. Okay. All right. Here's the truth. This is nothing more than hearsay. She wasn't there for the conversations, and you would know this if you simply listened to the hearing itself.
So, Ms. Hutchinson, is it your understanding that Mr. Ornato told the president about weapons at the rally on the morning of January 6th?
That's what Mr. Ornato relayed to me.
Oh. So your best friend's sister's cousin's friend's boyfriend knows this guy who saw this person who told this person that Ferris Bueller passed out at 31 Flavors last night?
Mm-hmm.
Lie. So here's another claim that she makes.
This is the best one.
That Trump, then President Trump, assaulted. Did you guys hear me when I said she wasn't there? You guys all heard that, right?
Yeah.
And you guys all heard when she said that she wasn't there?
Right. It was told to her by somebody.
All right. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, It's what I heard.
Just want to make sure because I shouldn't really have to say anything else.
No.
but I'm gonna. So she claimed that President Trump assaulted his Secret Service agents.
Reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. And when Mr. Ornato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his
Recounted
clavicles.
this story to me. Don't you love... Okay, just hit the truth button. Don't you love how detailed that is? For a story that she was told by somebody else?
Yeah.
That's how you know when someone is lying, when they're providing a detailed description of some... This is how you know Joe Biden was lying, because he didn't just like fib or exaggerate. Donald Trump was like a bullshitter where, Donald Trump, let's say he's a pretty rich guy. He's like, I'm the richest guy. A lot of people say that I'm richer than even you, richer than anybody. A lot of people say I'm really rich. Well, they say you're rich. They say I'm the biggest rich. That he would exaggerate.
Yes.
Joe Biden would make up stories.
I'm big and rich.
Yeah.
I'm on tour.
Save a horse, ride me. That's not Big and Rich's song. It doesn't work without the cowboy bit. Well, a lot of people say mine's a better version. Nobody says that. A lot of people do. So Joe Biden would tell stories about people he didn't meet in places that didn't exist. Like Amy's Diner. I go down every day to Amy's Diner. There's no Amy's Diner there. There's no Amy's Diner. You did not meet the Pope at Amy's Diner.
You did not take a dump in his hat at Amy's Diner.
And she's sitting there saying, and then he wanted to grab the steering wheel. Lady, where were his hands? His hands were at 12 and 6. And he then, after taking a deep breath, wait a second, you're lying.
Yeah.
So here's another bit of truth for you.
She owns one suit.
Yeah. The story is complete nonsense, according to a Secret Service official who I believe was there. Immediately announced that Ornato denied telling Hutchinson anything of the sort. There's so much he said, she said at this point, and when it's just he said, she said, and she wasn't there, I believe he. So the Secret Service also stated that Engel, the security detail, and the driver are prepared to testify under oath that neither man was physically attacked or assaulted, and that the former president never lunged for the steering wheel. So look, she wasn't there immediately upon her making these statements, which, by the way, CNN they're just now mentioning it happened immediately. And keep in mind, they just ran the story earlier, right?
Oh, yeah.
Shocking testimony. Now they have as a separate segment, when they know there are fewer viewers, and a much shorter segment. By the way, some ex-aides to Trump might say that wasn't true. I mean, people who were there, people who might actually know. Also, here's something else that it doesn't necessarily mean she's lying. You can make up your mind. I have made up mine. She was prepared to take a job offer with Trump after allegedly being told this story.
Allegedly.
Can you imagine that?
It's an odd deal, because if he's so violent, you wouldn't want to be around. I mean,
Right, yeah.
He assaulted drivers.
I know that these guys are willing to come out and be like, yeah, that was BS, but let's just think about this. All right, think about presidential protection procedures and the kind of layout that they have in these cars. So you're telling me that Donald
And the
Trump,
guys who are hired to do it.
Yes, the guys that are the best in the world at doing this. You're telling me that President Trump in his 70s was able to not reach and lunge for the steering wheel, because maybe I could buy that he's pissed off or he sees a Diet Coke can, one of the two.
Also, by the way, if he's in the back seat, he's Mr. Fantastic.
That's true.
Or Freddy Krueger in the alleyway to reach the steering wheel.
Because we all know, he's probably, is he sitting shotgun for some reason?
Yeah, exactly. She said he grabbed his hand off the steering wheel and said, Mr. President, take your hand off the steering wheel. That's not lunging for it, that's grabbing it, right? So that's something that's a little off. And two, hand on the steering wheel. The other hand is now reaching for the throat. How is he suspending his body in midair doing that with nothing to brace himself?
You've failed to take into account the third hand.
Yes. And that she's lying.
Yeah.
So he took Viagra.
That's almost more pivotal.
That's true.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that one to you.
Thank you.
But couldn't you just sit there and think through that one and go, I don't need the Secret Service to come out and tell me that you're lying, because your story just told me that you were lying.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag believe all women. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? I don't believe all men.
People really... No, I don't either. People used to swear under oath because they actually believed in their country and their God. And now you just need such a mountain of evidence that it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, like, you're under oath just lying. You know you're lying.
Oh, it's very, very hard to make
It's just
perjury
sad.
stick.
But 100 years ago, think about in court, all you could really rely on was testimony.
Right. That's why the punishments were severe. But,
Yeah.
I was there, and I tell you that man, he actually reached for the reins to try and kill somebody. And then someone says, well, all of us were there, and that lady is a lying bitch.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is this true? Yes, I did lie. Oh, well, to the gallows.
Yeah.
That was it.
Like, put your hand on the Bible, and she's like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, she wouldn't do it, you know?
But I made
Swear to me.
But now it's like you have to have just so much evidence, so much, you know.
I know.
It's just, it's
Again.
so apparent that she's lying.
By the way, to clarify, you mean so much evidence to prove that someone is lying?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem. You need no evidence to make the claim.
No, none.
But so much evidence to prove. It's like, well, hold on a second. You said this. Yeah. And you weren't there. Right. And the people who were more directly involved. Just to give you an idea.
Just they have no moral compass.
Just to give you an idea, too. This is how we determined which books to be included in the Bible. Just to be clear, that's how important it is. It was the standard of apostolicity. Am I saying that correctly?
I think so.
Yes. It was basically you were there with Jesus, or you were you immediately were connected to someone who was there with Jesus Christ. That's why you have all these other people who were writing random books and they weren't included, not because of some crazy conspiracy. That's why they said, okay, this is the Bible. We are including this because these people either had direct firsthand accounts or had close relationships with those who did.
And we can verify their stories.
We can verify
from
their
the
stories.
New Testament books to determine which ones got in.
So it's the 13th apostle Wally is not included.
Right, he's not included.
Just always telling lies.
Right. Yeah. Like, no, I was there, and Matt worked. He worked at the sandal store, like he was a tax collector. No, I'm pretty sure it was sandals.
Nah.
Well, that's why when years
sold
later,
ice cream.
Yeah.
What?
Years later, in another country, when other books were found, we didn't include them in the
Right,
Bible.
exactly. You can find random people trying to capitalize on it, saying, and he rode it on a horse with the horn. And I was like, are you trying to say unicorn?
No.
Yes. Will that get me a better book advance? Shut up.
That was Tom Cruise.
Hey, your words, not mine.
Yeah. I'm just asking you if you said it.
Yeah, Jesus started arresting people for future crimes. I don't think you were there.
With metal spiders. And this one bald bitch kept screaming. Are you just reciting Minority Report? Yes, hey, you said it, pal, not me.
Hey, I'm just telling you what happened. All right? Then he reached for the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And hit the throat of a trained professional fighter. The guy charged with...
And Mark Wahlberg's like, if I was in that car, it wouldn't have gone down like that, okay?
Okay.
All right. So...
Just the New Testament where you're like, this is just...
I don't even understand this.
Good vibrations,
Why
such
did
a
we
sweet
publish
sensation. What
this?
is this?
Yeah.
Is this the Funky Bunch? Yeah, that sounds about right, pal.
You lost the originals, huh? Okay.
And here's the thing. It's so silly and so obviously false.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with a liar lying. I have a problem with people who claim that they are not liars, namely the media, the institutions that you're supposed to trust, immediately believing this far-fetched tale. It's like an Aesop fable with no moral. So George Conway said, decades from now, people will be asking each other, where were you when Cassidy Hutchinson testified? Yeah, because it's like 9/11.
Yeah, I don't know, doing anything else that matters.
I don't know. I might have been doing some dishes.
Yeah. Yeah, or
Certainly
AOC
didn't stop.
during January 6th. I almost died 7 blocks away.
Right.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Pounding on the door.
I am now.
It was a police
now.
officer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was in upstate New York during 9/11.
He said
Are
I
you
was
all
a
right?
police officer.
We all lost something in 9/11. I lost my class schedule.
It's tough.
You were in Syracuse. That's what was it? I just saying we all lost things.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah.
Don't
Sad.
Don't tread on my truth. That's not all right.
I lost a hat.
So historian Heather Richardson wrote, Hutchinson thinks like I used to when I was younger. You were retarded? She can see it all in her head. Oh, thanks, Christopher Walken's Dead Zone. I've lost that gift, but I can... Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
This is a historian.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank
Do I have
God.
to, let me read this again, just so you understand the depths of my disdain for these people.
Where's she from?
Heather Richardson, she's a
Where does
historian.
No, I know she's a historian, but I want to know where she works as a historian.
Yeah, I don't know. She's like in she's the national treasure historian.
The
She's like,
Atlantic.
underneath this map is where Thomas Jefferson's gold chains are.
I have the gift to see the past.
Yes.
But not the present.
Hey, can you see the future padded room that
That is unclear.
So historian Heather Richardson. Yeah, if you guys can tell me where she's a historian.
She's the Huffington
It's the
Post.
Magic 8-Ball Factory.
Yeah, historian. Yeah, exactly. All signs point to yes.
She wrote, Hutchinson thinks like I used to when I was younger. She can see it all in her head. I've lost that gift, but I can absolutely recognize it in someone else.
That's all.
I've lost the gift. I can't feel the magic anymore.
Professor of history at Boston College.
Oh, good. BC, what are you doing?
She's telling
Anyways,
her
I was gonna
class.
because she said Boston, and I was gonna make a marathon joke, but I'm not going to.
Don't do
No,
that.
I get that.
It was a her joke.
Well, yeah.
Maybe the drama from the Boston Marathon bombing is what caused her to lose her
That's
gift.
true. That's what she just tells her class.
Yeah, by the way, I should note, she's a historian now. She used to be professional oracle.
That's true. Just comes into class.
Yes,
and she's like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't teach you anything. I've lost my gifts.
In a past life.
I'm sorry, class. You're going to have to just go through your own homework amongst yourselves and grade your own papers. I have to go dance with a sash in front of Leonidas.
And they are going to ravage me.
If you want to know history, just Google it.
Yes.
Yeah,
I used to be able to, but I've lost my touch with the keyboard.
PhD from Harvard, and she also previously taught at
means
University of
password.
Massachusetts and MIT.
Oh,
Wow. So she has tainted the minds of so many people.
I can see it.
You sound like the iRobot.
If you go,
Wait, if I take your class, will it hurt?
Yes.
once you say I've lost the gift, it's like, we're done here?
Yeah, we're
all
done. We're done.
All right.
Thanks for admitting it.
And by the way, retroactively, we're going to remove any and all contributions you've made to MIT, Harvard, Boston. Think about this. How we talk about checks and balances. Harvard, MIT, Boston College, and no one said no one when she went through the hiring process or along the path while she's teaching kids, where she said, "I can see it all in my head. I have the gifts." That I'm sorry, what?
You're lucky I'm here. I have to go find a missing person as I normally do with police every week.
Just hand me the milk carton blindfolded. I'll find him.
Where's her favorite toy? She's in a well.
No, that's not me. That's AOC. You want her to sniff it, and then she'll...
I see.
Oh, yeah, the bitch.
Oh, it turns out I just have good smell like a dog.
Yes. Well, that makes sense, considering that I'm half dog, you know.
Yes, that's why I look like this. AOC knows she's most dog.
She's a reverse canine centaur, as we know them in the hallowed halls of Harvard. All of us have the gifts, you see. Okay.
Can I read your palm? Ah, you bit me.
She goes in for when she goes from Harvard to Boston College. She just rolls in like Charles Xavier with a helmet. I hear you need a historian.
No, all good. We're good. I've already
She's
got
just
one.
staring at a desk trying to lift it for 45 minutes. Like, man, what are you doing? In a minute.
And stop stealing our spoons.
It's not a trick. You're just carrying them to your car.
With your brittle liver-spotted fingers. Those are the spots of my gift leaving my body.
Just throwing spoons at people. I have a gift.
Well, look, if she's lost her gift, she's also lost her judgment because she thinks that this is a good way to wrap up her quote.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't even get through the whole quote.
No.
Historian at Boston College, Heather Richardson,
Astonishing thing
said,
to say.
Hutchinson thinks like I used to when I was young. I'm reading the quote for the third time. It's just so funny. Hutchinson thinks like I used to when I was younger. She can see it all in her head. I've lost that gift, but I can absolutely recognize it in someone else. That's my current gift. The dripping ketchup story is a dead giveaway for the accuracy of her memory. She is reliable. Like now her new gift is she thinks like Jedi mind trick where she just says it and we like she is reliable. She is reliable.
Yeah.
Amber Heard is not a whore.
Okay.
Amber Heard is not a whore.
Yeah.
She pooped nowhere.
You have it. You have the fire starter.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible. I can see it. The story with such detail that I think she's reliable.
Quick, hand me the goblet of liar. I don't need to read any. What is this? Ann Applebaum of The Atlantic. Is that what I have next?
Yeah.
The image of Cassidy Hutchinson, age 25, helping the waiter wipe the ketchup off the wall after the president had thrown it there, will stay with me.
What? Why? Why? A president. Let's assume that the president threw ketchup against the wall because he was pissed. Is that really the worst crime he can commit?
And by the way, just to tie in the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest level of insanity, remember how insane AOC was in the previous segment? Here she's reacting on The Late Show with Colbert.
To understand and see the detail and the depth through which there was also just a conscientiousness of guilt. They knew that what they were doing was wrong. When at the very end of this hearing, you hear that Mark Meadows, the chief of staff to the president himself,
She too has the
asked
gift
for a pardon because he knew that he was breaking the law in order to seize power and undermine democracy in the United States of America. It is stunning. It is absolutely stunning.
No.
And that the president himself was willing to choke his own Secret Service
Oh, come on.
in order to do so.
Do you know the detail about that I like is that he goes to grab the wheel, and this is how long it's been since he's driven himself anywhere. He thinks you can drive from the back seat.
Yeah.
He forgot about the pedals
Yes.
and all that.
Yes.
That should have told you something, Stephen. You seem like you're on the right track.
I can't believe that was his response.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She brings upon the end of time.
Yes. If legend has it that if you see the left googly eye, you turn to stone.
Don't look her right in her left eye.
Don't.
Wait, did you say right or left?
Hey, by the way, do you know why those people were asking for pardons? It wasn't because they broke the law. It's because they were afraid
Whether
of
it's the left or right is merely an illusion.
No, you just said
Choice is not real.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
They were afraid of political witch hunts.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Right.
I wonder why they were afraid of political witch hunts. Not breaking the law, not something they deserve to go to jail for. Political witch hunts. I wonder why.
Gerald, don't be afraid.
I'm not.
I use these gifts for good.
But you said you lost it.
But there's pedals.
Yes.
As well?
My gift doesn't encompass that.
Mr. President, I will
My
simply step
gift
on the brakes.
is limited to lawnmower engines or lower.
Oh, my gosh.
I guess we're going to have to do Sweden and Finland joining NATO tomorrow. My answer is no.
They want in.
They owe a few $100 billion in back pay.
Level up first.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I hear Sweden has the gift.
But they've never given us the gift.
Don't have a
They have not given the gift. That's the tale as old as time with me, historian something Hutchinson from Boston College.
Song as old as rhyme.
It's a song as old as time. Is the gift can be wielded for good or tremendous evil power.
Walks up to Michael Moore. Thinner.
I've lost my gift.
Go be gone. I'm melting.
Just doesn't
Tries
work.
to correct AOC's vision. No, I'm a lie. Nope, didn't do it.
Spits in dirt, rubs it on her eye. Ah.
They're worse.
Are they better? No, I just didn't want to look at it.
Yes. just puts her hand on Joe Biden's head like she's curing his brain like Phenomenon. I'm taking all its degradation into... I've lost the gift. I don't have it. I don't have it.
It's the same thing as the alien. It's like scanners.
I can't touches Hunter Biden's head. The pain! The gift! It comes with great pain and responsibilities! The gift's not without its shackles!
The gift is back. I've never seen things so clear. My eyes are just bleeding.
Could she be a recurring character?
Yeah, really should.
Great.
What's her name? What Hutchinson?
Was it Amanda Hutchinson?
No, that's the other one.
Heather Hutchinson.
Heather.
Heather Hutchinson.
Her name
Again, reaches
was
for a
Heather
cop's
Hutchinson.
gun.
I don't know. Heather Cox Richardson.
Heather Cox Richardson. Hutchinson is the bitch Cassidy.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you, my final question is, do you also have the gift? We're going to go to... The only gift that I want, but in a cruel trick of nature I cannot procure, is more time.
ridiculous.
That's so terrible.
This is real.
I would walk into her class like a revolving door and walk right out.
Yeah. You just walk in, the gift. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
No, wait. I've lost it.
We need to do that. We need to go there. We need to go to Boston College. We need to come see you, fellas.
Just dress, in a certain way, like kind of like a witch, like that dude yesterday, and just be like, I want to talk to you.
Dress like a bottle of ketchup and walk in the classroom.
I hear that you bear the mark. How'd you know? It's just a tattoo she got in a Fruit Loop box. How'd you know about Sam?
She's refused.
First name Toucan.
Because you too can have the gift.
Yes. Only you can't really. Only I have the gift. But I lost it. But I did have the gift. Hey, Louderwith, if you want more, louderwithcrowder.com/tour is the Rebels with a Cause. It kicks off, me and Dave, in Phoenix, September 16th at the Arizona Federal Theater. That's the big one. And then we have Houston the very next day at, what is Houston is? Smart Financial Center in Sugar Land.
Yep.
And I've seen you folks in Houston. Should be called Sugarfoot. Dave is going to be July 15th, 16th, Columbus, Ohio.
The Funny Bone, yes.
The Funny Bone.
Yeah, the weekend of July 29th, the Funny Bone in Omaha, Nebraska. And if you don't mind, Lapeer, Michigan, July 9th.
And
I'll be bringing my gift.
Yes, and then we are going to go discuss dealing with hecklers here on Mug Club that we cannot show here because every now and then someone in the audience has the gift. And YouTube, my gift to you is you will piss off.